Welcome back. It's the Kovacs report, and we're going to take a look at Amazing Spider-Man number 3. So, full spoilers. So, if you've not read the book, go grab it, pick it up from your local comic book store, and give it a read before we watch the video, because I'm going to talk about everything that happens in the book. Now, Spider-Man is my favourite character, always has been, always will be. And I've been praying for the day that this book returns to its former glory. So, I've been outspoken about Zeb Wells' run, which I think was unforgivable and very forgettable. And Joe Kelly picked it up, and to end the volume did 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, which didn't inspire much confidence in me for when the book was relaunched #1 with Joe Kelly writing. But I held back and thought, you know what? Let's give Joe Kelly a fair crack at the thwip. I know. I made that one up on the spot. Now, quick recap. Hobgoblin is poisoning parts of Queens. We don't know how yet. Itsy Bitsy is the little sidekick of Hobgoblin, which was a villain that Joe Kelly created years ago. So it's quite obscure that he brings him back, but it is his own creation, so I understand why. And in the previous 2 issues, the Rhino was poisoned by the Hobgoblin somehow. We don't know. I keep saying we don't know how. We find out in this issue. And Peter put him down, and he ended up in Ravencroft. So Peter wants to investigate what's going on, so he thinks I'll visit Rhino at Ravencroft. And while he's there, he finds Itsy Bitsy standing on top of Rhino, about to poke his eyes out, basically, and a big fight ensues. Now, another thing that's running through this book is this sort of flashback black and white thing where Joe Kelly is exploring sort of pre-Amazing Fantasy 15 Peter Parker, so before high school. It's a novel idea. I don't think much of it. I don't think it adds much to the book, but you know, it shows Peter as any normal kid growing up, getting in trouble, doing things that most kids do. So I thought, okay, it's not bad. You know, it's not ruining the book. I mean, it could do without it, but here we are. So we started with one of those scenes, but unbeknownst to Spider-Man, it is actually part of his hallucinogenic fever dream that he's experiencing, because he's also been poisoned by whatever the Hobgoblin's been doing. Okay, so this one we see him steal basically Uncle Ben's army jacket and put all his, you know, angsty teenage patches on it, and he's going out and he argues with Aunt May, and she tries to strangle him, which I thought this would never happen, and then it reveals is part of this fever dream that he's in and out of, you know. So it's it was shocking. I thought, no, please don't make that canon. But he didn't. So thanks, Joe Kelly. Anyway, Itsy Bitsy having a big smackdown at Ravencroft. Spider-Man is not doing very well. He's having the living hell kicked out of him. Itsy Bitsy's dialogue is a bit scatty, bit mental. So from what I've learned about Itsy Bitsy, she was created from the DNA of Deadpool and Spider-Man, which is quite funny. So she's not all there. She's a bit erratic, very strange. She talks strangely. Sometimes you have to reread it to try and make sense of the nonsense, if you know what I mean. So in a big fight, big punch up, Spider-Man isn't doing very well, and he basically gets knocked the hell out. And then this is the strange thing, right? Because technically, right, wouldn't you say that Itsy Bitsy is kind of Spider-Man's weird DNA created daughter? I don't know. But she says, hey, I didn't kill you because I've got romantic feelings for you. And I was like, what? But why? Where's this going? Where's this going? Why does she fight so hard to try and kill him, then suddenly decide not to? I don't know. But it seems to me that the Hobgoblin kind of has her under his control to some extent. And she's resisting it. So whether she's going to become on the side of good, we don't know. But it is a bit odd. Anyway, she kicks him into the Hudson. I think it's the Hudson River. And then off she pops. We then jump to Aunt May, where Peter turns up, and obviously he's a bit of a mess. He needs somewhere to stay. We get another one of these flashbacks, a real one this time, about the jacket, I think. And I just like, what is this adding to the book? It isn't adding anything. It really isn't. I don't think it has any bearing on the current story. So why? I think this is just a case of a writer trying to be clever and slotting this thing and see, look what I did. And it isn't working for me. Now, other people may say it is. These are just my opinions, bear in mind. Everyone is different. You know, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying for me, it's just superfluous. I want to skip these pages, but I don't. Anyway, by morning, Peter's scarpered off to see Mr. Norman Osborn, where he's pulling out shrapnel or bullets or whatever out of Peter. and patching him up and stitching him up after his fight with Itsy Bitsy. Now, from this, he discovers that his mental, crazy fever dream things kicking in and out, in and out, in and out. It reminds him of something that he saw, which was Queen's cola cans in the Rhino's apartment. And he thinks, you know what, I drank some of that too. Maybe that's how I'm being poisoned. And I think, why is the Hobgoblin trying to poison people through cans of drink? It just seems so below a villain like Hobgoblin. I don't know. Anyway, Peter decides to go off and investigate this. And then here's where the pacing gets really strange. We go back to Peter's bestie friend from school, which was and is a bad influence on him, who also helped him get this job at Rand. He's now got a job at Rand. Sorry, I should have said at the beginning. And I don't know. It leads on to him talking to Osborn and saying, you know what, I've tracked down this specific cola. It's only made in one place in this like warehouse factory in Queens. So Pete goes to investigate and it reveals that, you know, they are indeed drugging the drink that's being sent out. But before Pete could do anything about it, boom, Hobgoblin turns up and, threatens him. So there we are. I'm like, okay, it's not terrible. Pepe Larraz's art is absolutely incredible in this book. He's doing a great job with the script that he has. So Pepe Larraz is doing an absolute fine job. It's a vast improvement in what Romita was doing previously. I mean, I love John Romita Jr., but I feel this book was his run previously to this was not his best work. So the art is absolutely cracking. But again, I'm really wanting to love this book. I really, really, really want to love it. But Hobgoblin poisoning parts of Queens with pop, with soda cans, I don't know. And this old friend and these flashbacks to, baby Parker, it's not doing it for me. It really isn't. I'm going to keep on the book. I'm going to put some faith in Joe Kelly and see if he can pull this into something different and clever and good. But I'm really not loving it. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. And if you like this video, subscribe. Maybe like the video. If you don't like it, subscribe so you can hate watch. I'm happy with both. So take care and see you soon.